Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of May 13th, and we have made it over the Scorpio full moon. We'll be able to start seeing that crescent waning moon as the nights progress, but it was an intense one, and Scorpio always delivers every year a big, intense full moon. This happened with Pluto, the ruling planet of Scorpio, the modern ruler, as it is sitting still in the sky. Pluto just went retrograde. So the ruling planet is very, very strong here right at the time of this full moon. These full moons are a culmination points. They are the top of the hill that you reach every month. It's the high point, the climax. And so we are still feeling this full moon energy. We can work with this for the next couple of weeks as it makes its way out, and we work into the new moon in 2 weeks. We also have the planet Saturn as we enter this week in officially the 29-degree point of Pisces. And we've been talking a lot about the endings, the closure, the release, and the surrender that we've been going through, as a lot of planets have been moving through Pisces. We had a huge little retrograde cycle. Excuse me, I need to take a little drink of water as I talk about all this water energy here. Scorpio, a water sign. Pisces, a water sign, my body needing water. So give it that water if it's asking for it right now, because there is a lot of strong watery energy, and especially with Saturn at the 29-degree point of Pisces. This is a critical point, and Saturn is a very serious energy. It's ambitious. It's wanting to be responsible. And so we are in the final endings of this Saturn and Pisces cycle. And so very much a good time to surrender, release, but also, if there is something that we need to do to ensure that we are going to have this nice, strong ending once Saturn leaves Pisces, that we step up and do that and use this energy as that critical point, that if it feels at the 29th degree, it's like we're walking out the door. So if there's something else that we need to check on, make sure the garage is closed and make sure that the oven is off, that we do those things in our spiritual life also as we're working with this astrological energy. So, as we enter this week, the moon is in Sagittarius, on May 13th. And so we have an interesting Sagittarius energy right now and over the past many months, because the ruling planet of Sagittarius, where the moon is. So when the moon goes through a sign, it is the general mood, the general vibe of the day. And Sagittarius is an energetic energy. It is a big energy ruled by Jupiter. It is about the larger vision that we have, the grand vision of our life and of themes and ideas. It's about philosophy, and it is about kind of higher learning, higher thinking, learning, teaching, travel, discovery. There is an indulgence factor and a big appetite factor to Sagittarius also, because Jupiter's the ruling planet. And so moon moving through Sagittarius, we feel all of these themes as kind of the general mood. And the ruling planet, Jupiter, is in sort of a tough place in what is called detriment. And that is when it's exactly across from the sign. And so we get this push and pull right now when we have Sagittarius energy, because the ruling planet is in its fall. It's across, directly straight across, the furthest away from the sign of Sagittarius it can be. So its energy is pulled away from it, and it can make us feel as Sagittarius energy that it's harder to use the energy as Jupiter is in its fall. But another thing that Jupiter is right now is Jupiter is T-square with the nodes of fate. And this is a fateful, destined spot for the next couple of days as the moon is moving through Sagittarius. We also, have this T-square with Jupiter, which is creating fateful situations. A T-square is rooted in action. And so luckily with a T-square, we can be faced with the opportunity to take action this week. And because it is integrated here with the nodes of fate, it is going to be destined and fateful activity and a fateful opportunity here to make long-term effects on the future. The nodes of destiny, they correct our course, come through and let it be known, the direction that we are intending to go here. And Jupiter is a big energy. So whenever Jupiter decides to do something, it's like got its own gravitational pull that brings everything along, and there is a spotlight on this energy all the time. Jupiter is an amazing planet in terms of the astronomy in our solar system. Jupiter is a huge protector of planet Earth and of the inside of the planets closer to the sun than it. And that's because it has this giant gravitational pull that can suck in all of the asteroids and any particulate flying through space comes past Jupiter. It gets sucked in and pulled into its gravity. And so Jupiter is known in terms of astronomy in the solar system to be like a protector of Earth. And so we see Jupiter as like this wise protector and as the god of all the gods. Jupiter has just a few more degrees, 6 more degrees before leaving this sign where it's in detriment and moving into Cancer, a water sign. That is going to be a new energy that we'll discuss as it comes up. But for now, Jupiter's in Gemini, and Gemini is the sign of doubles. So we could see while the moon is moving through Sagittarius the next couple of days, having to do things in doubles. And then we see May 15th roll around, and this is the day that we have much more nodal interaction. These north and the south node, they represent our destiny, our fate. And the north node is the direction that we are moving into fateful things in our life. We are going towards the north node. The south node, we are moving away from. The south node is all the things in our life that we are trying to leave behind and trying to get rid of. Old stagnant energies. And then the north node is the fresh stuff where we are trying to move into and bring more into our life. And the north node is in Pisces right now. I just talked about Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, but it's very, very mystical and very, very intuitive, the most connected to source energy of all signs, Pisces. So the north node is very mystical right now, and these cosmic course corrections are full of intuitive guidance from source energy. And the South Node is in Virgo at the moment. And Virgo is the sign of purification and of making things new again and detoxifying. And so Virgo is a wonderful place for the South Node, in my opinion. It's like we're trying to get rid of these things. Anyways, these are old, stagnant, routines, habits, themes in our life, anything that is just trying to leave. And Virgo is the great detoxer. So how can you not have a really clean slate once the South Node leaves Virgo? And these signs, these North and South Node have just entered these signs. We're only 5 degrees in. They actually move backwards. All the other planets move from planets, asteroids, points move from 1 degree to 30 degrees, but the nodes actually move from 30 to 1 degrees. So they move in a reverse order for those interested in any of that. But going back to May 15th, Thursday of this week, already a super busy day because the moon is just doing a ton as it's reaching the last couple of degrees of Sagittarius, having a ton of interaction with the sun and Uranus and the North Node and Saturn and the South Node. And that is the same day that the moon is going to be T-square these same nodes, and we're going to get a full cross that is going to bring in a lot of destined, more of these faded themes this week. And so this is really interesting when we have the moon and the sun both in aspects with the nodes, because the sun is also going to be trine the South Node and sextile the North Node on Thursday, May 15th, as Jupiter is in this T-square all week. Wow. Okay, so one thing to know about all of this, if it just sounds like a foreign language, is that this week is a cosmic course correction week. We are finding fateful direction. And to stay focused on that grander vision that Sagittarius offers us early in the week, because the moon is going to be entering Capricorn on the night of the 15th, and the energy is going to change a lot moving into the weekend. So Capricorn moon is a bit more of an ambitious energy, where Sagittarius is a fire sign, and it's about creating visions and kind of dreaming big and expanding everything and making everything really big and exaggerated. Capricorn's an earth sign, and we get a rational, realistic sense when we have the moon in Capricorn. So it's a great place to move to right after Sag. We've got these great visions, and then we bring it down to earth and we put our feet to the ground. We put our hands to work in Capricorn, because Capricorn's a builder and wants to create structure, and is absolutely going to be creating some rule structures and some boundaries around it, but it's all for it's all in the spirit of progress, because Capricorn wants things to move forward and wants to get things done and see those structural pieces built. And then we move into the weekend, and Saturday, May 17th is probably one of the bigger days in terms of the astrological aspects. But again, realizing that this week we have so much energy that is bringing in fateful, destined direction. And on May 17th, the sun is going to be doing its annual conjunction with Uranus. Uranus is the planet of surprise, awakening, and of change. So if there is, two themes for the week, one is fate, destiny, and the other theme is change and awakening and revolution, because that is what Uranus represents. And Uranus is now at 27 degrees of Taurus, and that's where this conjunction is going to take place. So if you want to see where to focus on making these changes in your own personal life, look at 27 degrees of Taurus, find which house that is related to in your birth chart. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can get a birth chart and see how these things affect you on a personal level. You can get a free birth chart online from tons of different websites. And then that is your own personal blueprint where the planets were at the moment of your birth. And that is said to be able to guide you through the astrology for the rest of your life, really, to see how things are going to play out. And so there's 12 houses in your birth chart and in every astrological chart. And each of those 12 houses represents different areas of life. And so find which house that's going to be for you at 27 degrees of Taurus. And you could see where this awakening, revolutionary change needs to happen. Because this is important. This is going to be the last time that the sun makes this conjunction with Uranus in Taurus. And so that makes it very unique. The Taurus energy, the earth energy, the fixed energy of Taurus is not necessarily, has not necessarily been that stoked about Uranus this whole time. There are other signs, air signs, fire signs that have a little bit more fun, let's say, with a planet like Uranus transiting their sign. But Taurus is probably the one that enjoys it the least. They don't like to make changes. They don't like to be forced to do one thing or the other. And Uranus is kind of a forceful energy. It's a lightning strike, and it's something changing in an instant. And so this week, do different things to indulge this energy. Be revolutionary. Think futuristically, be ready for newness. And whenever you can, do things in a new way this week. This is going to welcome in this energy. This is about innovation, and it's about earth events also, because it's in Taurus, and we could see over the weekend actually some big earth events. I hope this isn't like a giant earthquake, but it could be volcanic eruptions. It could be big electrical storms that take out entire electrical grids of cities. It could be all kinds of different things involving the nervous system. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself this week in terms of your own electrical system in your body, taking very, very good care of that as we, work on using these energies to their most benevolent outcome. We don't want to be, too resistant, right? Because that can cause its own issues. And on this same day, the 17th of May, it's a very busy day with the moon moving through the last degrees of Capricorn, comes into all the interplay with the sun and Uranus and Saturn and the North Node and the South Node and Jupiter. So Saturday, a very busy day. And then in the evening, the moon moves into Aquarius, and Aquarius is that sign that is ruled by Uranus. We get more revolutionary energy that follows up this conjunction of the sun and Uranus on the 17th. And just to bring in a little bit more energies for the week, on May 18th, Jupiter, that is in that T-square with the nodes, bringing in big destined circumstances in doubles this week, is going to be in a sextile with Chiron. And Chiron is just at almost about 25 degrees of Aries, and has a healing aspect that it brings in with this sextile with Jupiter. This is going to be expansive healing. This is an easy flowing aspect with a sextile between Jupiter and Chiron. And this is going to have long-term effects on the future. future, whatever healing can take place, whatever places we can come to find this comfort during a week that could be quite stimulating, could be quite surprising. It could be just a lot of electric energy. And so this healing that comes in with Jupiter and Chiron is very, it's very much about the self, because Chiron is in Aries. And so we can heal, we can find that healing for ourselves, for our ego, for our personal identity, for our instinctual, animalistic self that Aries represents. And then Monday the 19th, another really busy lunar day. So very interesting week with kind of a busy day and then kind of an off day, and a busy day and an off day. So make sure to pace yourselves this week and do any of those run to the water, that you need to for those cleanses, any of that Scorpio full moon that's still left over, I don't know, maybe it's time for a polar plunge or something like that, to reset the system and to indulge in that energy and to really let it wash over. I really appreciate you being here in the cosmic community with the Galactic Ambassador, Stacey Dredd, and I hope you have a really good week. And this community is amazing. I love this beautiful, organic community that we're building here in the cosmic community. Thank you for everything that you give, and I will be chatting with you again soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.